Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Another educational yet easily consumable video on things that are super important. This week we're still talking about film because not only is it trendy, but it is something that I am very passionate about. So let's just dive right into it. Today we're gonna be talking about traveling with your film. Not traveling from your house to the studio or your house to the park or your house to the models. No. We're talking about big time travel. Christmas is less than a month away. New Year's is less than a month away. Vacations are happening all year round. Whatever reason you have to travel on a plane or train, here are some tips that are gonna help you travel effectively and safely with your film. So, I've traveled around the world with film. The place that I've traveled most with film has been Ghana, which is where my family's from. And as some of you may know, I'm actively working on a project titled From Ghana with Love. My last trip to Ghana in July, I took about 90 rolls of film with me on our flight. And I've learned a lot of things from traveling with film. Things get messy. Here we are. This is film, right? This ain't Kodak film yet, but this is film. This is another film that's probably gonna disappear sometime soon. But that's neither here nor there. Film, right? The average film packaging looks like this. You get a box, you open up your box. Inside the box, you get some foil or some kind of tin or something. You gotta tear that open. Then inside of that, you get a roll, right? This is 120, so that's what we're gonna focus on today. But even if you were dealing with 35mm film, you get a box. Inside that box would be like a plastic tube. Inside that plastic tube would be a metal tin of fill. This right here is gold, especially with the way that film is rising in prices. We gotta treat it as such. We have to protect our film while traveling because there are a lot of dangers. Let me just break it down. When you're traveling to get on a flight, the first thing you do when you get to the airport is check in, and then you go through TSA, and then you board your flight, put your bags in overhead, you come out, you grab your bag from the overhead, you grab your bag from the baggage check, and then you get to where you need to go. Imagine doing that, grabbing your roll of film, putting it into your camera, making a photo, and thinking that was the one. That's a banger. It's gonna change my life. Fine art. MoMA, here we come. Met. Hello, Gordon Parks Foundation, right? Then you get home, same thing. Put the film away, put it in a bag, check the bag, overhead, back, pull it out. You go to Color House. You go to the small darkroom. You go to Photodom. You develop your film. You get your film back, and it looks like shit. It looks like this. What the fuck happened? How did we get here? Very, very simple, but difficult to identify if you don't know. Film is light sensitive. When we think light sensitive, we think like lights like here, like my key light, lights like natural daylight that's coming through my windows, lights like the bathroom light or the kitchen light. But people very rarely think about the infrared light that goes through your bags when you're going through the airport. So whether it's the TSA check or whether you've checked your film into your actual bag and sent it in through the major security scanner that the luggage goes through. Those high dosages of radiation have the propensity to destroy your film. But it's in certain situations, right? It's very hit or miss with film. Let me explain. Film with the ISO lower than 800 is technically safe to put through the TSA scanner. Technically. And when they say it's safe to go through the TSA scanner, that's once. So when you send it through twice, or 3 times, depending on if you have a layover or if you're traveling multiple places, you are consistently putting your film at risk of being exposed to light, and the photos that you have made or are going to make may not render the same. So here are some tips to protect your film on your journey. Step 1 is what you just saw me do. Take your film out of the packaging, right? This shit is cute. It looks nice. You want people to see you going through TSA and think, yo, that guy's cool. He's got Portrait 800. Yo, he's got Portrait 160, 400. Oh shit, he still has Fuji Pro 400H. That's cute, but it's cumbersome. It takes up space. And when you get through security, or when you get to security, it's gonna cause more questions. So first step overall is take it out of the packaging. Like I just showed you previously, get rid of the box, definitely. Some people like to keep this foil-esque cover over top of the film because it does act as a protective layer. So God forbid your bag ever gets wet, it's less likely to get soaked, but I have had water go through these. It's also supposed to be like a protective layer, but you can take it off as well. I tend to take it off and take all my film as is. And the next step is to store them in a see-through Ziploc bag. So all of my film, that's what I like to describe as unpackaged. I take them and I drop them into a clear Ziploc bag, zip them up, and I carry them with me through TSA. That's step number 3. Never, ever, ever check your film. Why? Because the security scanner that you check your film through with TSA is substantially less powerful than the security scanner that will be checking your luggage, because your luggage could have way more hazardous things in it and it won't get caught right away, right? So always carry your film with you through to TSA. Never, ever, 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 ever check your film. Once you get through whatever line you're going through, whether it's clear, pre-check with clear, or just the general TSA line, when it's time for you to get to the scanner, the best thing to do is to open up your bag, take out your bag of film, and be like, hey, I would like to request a hand check. Guys, I cannot emphasize how important it is to request a hand check. A hand check is pretty much you opting out of you or a specific item being run through the security scanner, right? If you have a pacemaker, you can request a hand check. And that's because the radiation from the scanners will cause your pacemaker to actually like malfunction. You can request the same thing for a specific item because there are items that are sensitive to the radiation that goes through the scanners. Now, in the United States of America, we are lucky. We are lucky that a lot of the major cities have experience with film, and when you ask for a hand check, as long as your film is out of the packaging, mostly the boxes, and in a see-through bag, you can hand this to the TSA agent, and they will literally look, make sure they recognize it, and go, okay, good. Take it around, and it'll be waiting for you at the other side of security. And then you walk through like nothing happened. Film safe, you're good, bag's checked. You can put your bag back into your packaging or your carry-on and then go on about your business. But I have experienced issues with requesting a hand check in third world countries or places outside of the US. Like I said, I travel a lot to Ghana, and in my travels to Ghana, we often have a layover. So 2 out of the most recent 4 trips that we've taken, we've landed in Lomé, Togo. And they are a French-speaking country. And they also are governed by a different set of rules. So When you get to security, because you got to go back through security to get to your connecting flight, it's often a bit of a shakedown. Yep, I said it. They shake you down. We get through security, and I typically go, "Hey, I would like a hand check," and often I'm met with a no. No, put it through. No, stand your ground, guys. Third world countries will do their best to avoid any specialized treatment, and a lot of security places will try to have you scan your film. If you shoot Portrait 800, if you shoot Portrait 800, you shoot Cinestill 800T, if you shoot T-Max 3200, Delta 3200, anything over 800 ISO, there's no question or doubt that your film is destroyed the minute it goes through the scanner. If you shoot anything less than that, it still runs a pretty substantial risk. And then if you've shot it already and it's already been exposed to light, kiss those images goodbye. You could just hope for the best, but prepare for the worst if you run your film through a scanner. So stand your ground whenever you're in foreign countries going through security, and make sure that they hand check your film. And it may even become a bit of a bigger ordeal where they want to take it out, open it up, and look at each individual roll of film. And that's where my completely undressed film comes in, because when you get to it, it says, this is Acros, Neopan Acros 100. It says it's 6x6, 12 exposure film, Fuji film. No question about it. Throw my shit back in the bag, let's go. So yeah, the fourth step is always request a hand check, because once your film goes through the security scanner, you're SOL. Another super important way to avoid the headaches when traveling back home after you've shot film and your film is no longer in the same bag as it was when it was unexposed is to potentially get your film developed before you head back home. Does that make sense? You don't want to come back home with a ton of undeveloped film and then run into one of those tough guys at TSA or the other airport's security system, and they tell you, no hand check, you gotta scan it. What are we supposed to do? Do we want to run into those situations where our properly exposed film is now being overexposed by radiation? No, we don't want that. So a good way to avoid that trouble is to have your film developed before you leave. You don't necessarily have to do scans, but to have the film developed and then put into archival sleeves or archival strips gives you another opportunity to just store that film properly, and then you can actually run it through the scanner because it's no longer sensitive. Capiche? Got me? It may seem like some of this information is like super novice and super like clear and transparent. It makes sense, right? But there are a lot of new shooters of film and a lot of people traveling this holiday season. And my goal is to just make sure that you guys are aware of the potential hiccups that come along with traveling with film and the best ways on how to avoid them. So just a quick recap on the steps and the things that you can do to protect yourself while traveling this holiday season with film. Always remove the packaging. Always put them into a clear ZIPLOCK bag. Never check your actual film into your checked luggage if you're traveling with checked luggage. Store your film into your carry-on bag. And then when you get to TSA or airport security, always request a hand check, because the radiation from the scanners can very well screw you over with your film. Another very important tip is that you should always try to develop what you have before you leave, if you trust the labs there, so that you have less of a propensity or opportunity to get caught up in an altercation where your film is exposed to radiation. One other thing to also keep in mind, like a rule of thumb, ISO 800 film and higher cannot travel through infrared or radiation scanners because it will destroy the film. There's no two parts about it. So do your best, be diligent, stand your ground, always tell them no, I need a hand check. And enjoy your holidays, man. If you're going to fly for Turkey or vacation in Ghana or wherever, enjoy yourself. Make lots of amazing photos. I'm Joe Chia. Make sure that you like this video, share it with your friends, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, thank you for coming uptown. Peace.